I'm Simone, psychic medium, tarot reader and intuitive, and welcome to my channel where sometimes I put up readings and sometimes I'll be putting up my thoughts. And if you do manage to find me and listen, I'm going to thank you in advance. But I thought I'd talk a little bit about what we all wish for, which is a better world. And how do we create this better world? We're so busy fixing the outside, everything we see with our eyes, whether we see it as good and beautiful or whether we see it as bad, wrong and fixable or not fixable. It's to do with our perspective. And everything starts from within. To try and change our external life, our outside life, requires that we wish to change internally, that we wish to create within us or let our higher consciousness speak within us, to connect to what we can't see, which is spirit, which is what we're made of. Every time we go to sleep, where do we go? What do we do? When we wake up, our spirit seems to be clothed in what I feel is an astronaut's suit in order to be able to move around and function on this earth. We need to house ourselves within a body. But that's not everything we are. And truly, if there were no mirrors in this world, we wouldn't even know what we looked like. So the world would be a completely different experience for us. But we are very connected to the mirror because we truly believe, most of us, that when we look in the mirror, what we see is who we really are. But that's not the case. It's a reflection of our outer clothing, but who we really truly are the beings inside of us. And so if we want this better world, then where better to start change but within us? There's so much talk about everything that's wrong in the world. There's violence, there's lack of food, too many of us, climate, another problem, our use of plastics, our use of fuels, resources on our earth. So all the time that we are looking outwards and trying to fix the problem from outside of us, we are always going to be chasing the criminal, just like the police do. First comes the criminal, then comes the police. So how on earth can we possibly change outside without reflecting on ourselves and what we can do from the beginning within ourselves to achieve the outer change, to create this better world? And so we have the observer within us, that voice which probably speaks more quietly than the voice of the ego, the voice that suggests quietly to us that perhaps we could look at changing certain aspects of our behavior, and therefore we would get different results on the outside. We can, for example, carry our rubbish home with us instead of offloading it wherever we happen to be, whether there's a bin somewhere or not. And it's the same within ourselves. We can offload our rubbish into the outer world, for sure. And we can perhaps damage people around us as we offload into the real world, real in inverted commas. Or we can start to deal with our own rubbish and absorb it and turn it from a negative into a positive by very consciously working towards altering behaviours and thoughts. Thoughts first, behaviours second. We can listen to our feelings. Our feelings turn into thoughts, and then our thoughts turn into actions. So, if we want this better world, what shall we do? But keep the rubbish that we handle to a minimum, within us and without. In other words, in the external world. This is easily accomplished if we care to study ourselves. When we catch ourselves in a situation doing something that actually we don't respect or that we don't actually agree with, in the moment we can actually stop our actions and hold our thoughts there for a moment without judgment, because we are human. But when we do notice things about ourselves, it's in that moment that we can correct things. So why not take the time and the trouble to correct? It's a difficult time that we live in when we are being asked to move to a higher vibration for the betterment of the planet and for the betterment of the earth. How we take care of the earth, how we nurture our animals, how we nurture our plants, our trees, everything that provides us sustenance and love. So we need to get in touch with that loving part of ourselves that wants to reach out with purity in our hearts, so that we can really achieve the good that we want for the planet, which means cleaning up our own act, to evaluate what we consider as important, to evaluate where we want to put our attention to. Where thought goes is followed by attention, which is followed by action. So becoming more aware of our actions and how it affects the people and the things around us is really important. And we can achieve this. We can achieve this by stepping back. By stepping back and, like I said, re-evaluating what we have to offer and what we wish to offer, to deal with our own emotions, to come to a place where we realise that what has happened to us in our lives, good and bad, is a place that it doesn't make up who we truly are. Yes, these things have happened to the person in the body, but the being inside the body can't actually be touched. If we choose to change our thoughts and realize that we are actually truly who we are inside the body rather than outside. We aren't just that person in the mirror. We're not. We're more than that. We're bigger than that. We're much more powerful than that. Our thoughts become our creations. I can't stress that enough. I'm not a guru. I'm not here to tell you what to do. But I'm here asking you maybe to open your mind just a little bit more, to look towards what you can do to create a better version of yourself. Because each and every one of us that creates a better or best version of ourselves, in the background, in each body, each spirit is actually one individual spirit within the whole collective spirit. So we're a part and we are a part all at once. We exist and we don't exist all at the same time. It's quite a concept to accept, to think that it's everything and nothing all at the same time, all at once. But it is like that. It is like that. Flowers come up and they exist for a season, and eventually the petals start to fall off and the plant starts to wither. But it comes back next year. It's in seed form again. And this is us. Every time a major event in our life happens, we can reinvent ourselves. We can have taken the big lesson and we can turn it around into something positive. Every negative contains a positive, and every positive contains a negative. And that's okay. Like I said, we're only human. We're not going to get everything right away. We need to practice this. But if we really want to clean up this earth, then it starts from within. It has to be us as individual spirits that want to keep our spirit as pure as possible, so that we can spread love, which is ultimately what we're here to do. We are love, and love develops on different levels. We all have things to offer, but in the immediate, we need to treat ourselves correctly. We need to respect what we've been through in our bodies and remember that the spirit within is the observer of what's happened, and that we take those lessons, those experiences, and we put them in the bowl of life as ingredients to keep perfecting a better cake, so to speak, to keep perfecting a recipe, to keep perfecting our own individual recipe. And as the ingredients come together, so this can be supported. And so we can join hands with others. But it's no good trying to fix the outside without fixing the inside first, because the problem will just be perpetuated. And if it isn't that rubbish over there that we're dealing with, we're going to be dealing with this rubbish over here. How do we build a better world? This is an ongoing conversation that should never stop. Again, it comes from within. We must want to be a better world within ourselves in order to achieve a better world outside ourselves. It sounds easy, and yet it's so difficult. Spirituality means practicing in the moment. So if you find yourself in a difficult relationship, if you find yourself in a difficult work situation with relationships, if you find yourself in difficulties in relationship with money, if you find yourself in difficulty in relationship with your needs opposing what you have, again, relationship between these two things within you, don't fight. Don't fight, but relax about it. And try and see again that the spirit can never be damaged. And that we're here to invoke goodness, first in ourselves and then in others. And goodness can only be done through love. 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 And I can remember many, many years ago, as a child, I was once asked, a really young child, maybe I was 6 or 7, and my answer has remained the same since. Why do you think you were put on this earth? I was asked. And as I say, my answer has always been the same. I've been put on this earth for love. That's what we've all been here for, or will be here for in the future. For love. And love needs to grow and be nourished like a small plant. It needs to be attended to every day, just like the spirit needs to be attended to every day. Our behaviour in different situations has to be attended to every day. So start with the self and self-love. And when you catch yourself, or when we catch ourselves going on the attack, beating ourselves up, that is the moment to stop the attack. Refrain. Hands up, yes. I did do that, I did think that, I did feel that. And it's okay. Within yourself, it's safe. Realize the thoughts coming into you. Thoughts can be changed. They can be challenged. The record can be turned around. Yes, it's a lifetime's work. But so are relationships a lifetime's work. So is going to work a lifetime's work, whatever the work may be. That might change over time. It doesn't matter. What matters is what's functioning within you, and that you are dealing with it in the most healthy, loving manner you possibly can, by being kind to yourself like you would be to a friend who was going through difficulties. Be kind every time you catch yourself out, but don't ignore it. Don't ignore the warning signs when you know that there is something wrong in your behaviour and it needs to be corrected. Be aware. These are the gifts we've been given. We've been given the gift of thinking as a function, feeling, and feeling with our bodies as well, feeling discomfort, feeling joy. We can make a difference on an individual level because we can touch other people's lives. So be that difference in your world by touching your heart first and taking care of that beautiful, beautiful heart within you that's crying out to love, which is what we all really want to do ultimately, to feel love and be loved. So let's start from the inside out by getting a golden brush with strong bristles. And we can put that through our crown chakra. And we can start scrubbing and cleaning our thoughts. The thoughts inside our crown. Looking after our thoughts. Being aware, being conscious. So every morning, if you can find some time, start maybe by looking at your thought processes and start by wishing yourself a good morning, a good morning. Remind yourself that you love you, that you are worth loving, and that you're a beautiful being inside this body. And that who you truly are is spirit, here on this earth, to love, to give an understanding to love, and to love the people around you. So start with the crown chakra. Every morning, give it a good clean. Maybe take a hose of golden light and hose it down. Give it a good showering, a good wash, so that you can move on through the day to give it your best. And when you fall down, be kind and pick yourself up. Treat yourself well. Give yourself kind words, good dialogue. Don't beat yourself up, because whatever is done. But there's always a chance to start again, just like there's a new day every day. Every day the sun rises again and highlights what we can't see at night. Even if the moon is a full moon and we have bright light in the shadows, there's never as much clarity really as there is within the sun. So give yourself a chance to shine like the beautiful being, like the beautiful sun and moon and star that you really truly are. It's all love, all about love. My heart to yours.